never thought I was a people person. I always thought I was the nerd behind the screen. And
a lot of people think like, oh, you work with your sister. Is that rough? Is that hard? Because I had zero business savvy of any kind. I feel like we have to now. We know it exists.
Let's do it.
Welcome to Sealed and Unscripted, our new podcast series where I interview a special guest with 5 questions that come in a sealed envelope that were prepared by someone on our creative team. So I have no idea what's in this envelope, but that was the whole point. It's supposed to be just like that, unscripted, low stakes, nothing to worry about, nothing to stress about. This episode is a special one. I have a special guest with me. This is Jonie Iordache, my sister, business partner, and the president of Reinventing Agency. I guess I should have introduced myself. My name is Madalina and Jonie Iordache. I'm the CEO of Reinventing Agency. And today is our 17-year anniversary, 17 years of Reinventing Agency. We are almost never in the same room, at least not when we're working, because Jonie here lives in
England,
London, UK, and I think that is important to know because we are now in Canada, and there's a London, Canada, London, Ontario. And we are here on a business trip today for a conference of one of our clients. Happens to be our anniversary, so what better timing to kick off our podcast than this? So here's the concept. Questions come in this envelope, sealed. We're gonna open this. We're going to find out what those questions are, and we're going to take turns responding to the questions. All right. There are 5 questions and a wildcard bonus question. Let's see how we feel about this. First question. What's one thing people would never guess about working with your sister? Jonie, I did most of the talking for this intro. How about you start?
probably the fact that we get along. I feel like whenever people hear that we work together as siblings, the first question is like, "Oh my God, how are you able to work with your sister?" So I guess that to me that's probably what surprises people the most, that we actually get along better since we started working together than we were before, which is shocking.
Well, I don't know if it's shocking because we started this when we were both in our 20s, so we were very young, and I guess the way we were as teenagers was very different. There's a 3.5-year difference between us, so I want to say that I spent most of my teenage years ignoring Jonie, barely acknowledging her presence, and then once we started working together, we actually got to know each other better. We did get along great. And I guess to answer my question, what they would never guess. Everyone tells us that we're so alike. We have similar voice. They can tell that we're sisters by how we look, I guess. But what they can guess is that we are quite different in how we think and how we approach business and problem solving and leadership. And that's a great thing because we should not be a clone of each other, right? What makes this work really well is that we are very complementary to how we think, and we can bounce ideas of each other and challenge each other. I mean, I know that you challenge me all the time, which I like that. And I guess that difference, because we respect each other, challenge each other, but also get along really well on a personal level. I think that's why this works really well. So yeah, we're very much alike in some ways and very, very different in other ways. But I agree with you. A lot of people think like, oh, you work with your sister. Is that rough? Is that hard? All right, next question. Here, you read this one.
All right. If you could go back to year one, what would surprise that version of you most about writing today? Well, for me, I think what most surprises me is that I never thought I was a people person. I always thought I was the nerd behind the screen, and I didn't want to be part of any dealing with people, managing teams, and all that. So if anybody told me 17 years ago that I'm gonna be working more with people than with like code, I would not have believed that.
Yeah, for me, I did not begin with the end in mind, which is apparently how you're supposed to do things. I think the only insight that I had, or I should call it intuition, because I had zero business savvy of any kind. I did not go to business school. I did not have any kind of training in that, is that I started off by freelancing. For the first 6 months, it was just me until I recruited Jonie to join me. But I didn't want to do it under my own name. I branded it from the beginning. I love the idea of bright pink. So I think that was the foundation that led to what bright pink became today. But I could never see this outcome. I thought it would be just me freelancing under a brand name. And I never saw this becoming an agency. In fact, our first name back then was Bright Pink Studio. It was supposed to be tiny, small, on purpose. It was supposed to be you and I just making some pretty websites. And then it just grew into this agency that we have today. Ooh, this one's a tough one. I love that Alicia put stickers on the back of all the questions. What do you think Bright Pink has taught you about yourself? Ooh, so much. I feel like I grew up working and leading Bright Pink. It taught me so much. It's been 17 years, and as a young adult, when I started this through now in my 40s, so much has changed. I had no idea of anything. And honestly, I think that was a good thing because I didn't think it couldn't be done. So I did it. That was the, the concept. But then I guess if anyone told me how hard it would be, I would not have started. I keep saying because we work today almost exclusively with franchise brands that if I ever was to start over, I would buy a franchise because building a business from scratch is so incredibly hard and you don't have a playbook. You have to write the playbook as you do it. So what it taught me about myself is that it's something that I tell myself when things get tough, because sometimes they do, when I have to make a difficult decision or I am faced with an unpleasant outcome, that I can do hard things. That's what it taught me.
For me, I think, and probably the most important thing that I've learned, being partners with you in Bright Pink is that it's okay to reinvent yourself. And I feel like we apply this in our business, in the team that we have, because it's always a big shuffle of things. Like everybody grows from one role to another. We've reinvented the way we do business. We reinvented, became from a studio to a agency that works with franchises. So it's been this process of just reinventing how we think about the business, reinventing what we do and how we approach the work that we do. So it's kind of taught me not to be afraid of making big changes and taking on responsibilities and work that I never thought I was able to do.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, because back to what I said earlier, a lot of things change in 17 years. And another lesson from that is that a lot more things are going to change in the next 17 years. And things that work today may not work again in 5 years. So we just have to stay open to reinventing ourselves while still, in a sense, staying true to who we are. Some things shouldn't change, right? Like our values and how we approach work ethic and all that stuff, the culture that may evolve, but it should always kind of stay true to what makes writing writing.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Yeah. Okay. What's something you used to overthink that you now just trust your gut on?
Ooh, I know that one.
Oh.
Client meetings. Oh my God, I was
This goes on record, you know.
I was terrified at first to go on client meetings and talk to the client and, explain to them what we do and how we do it. And I was just torturing myself like hours before that. Like, what am I going to tell them? Are they going to understand what I'm trying to tell them? So I feel like it's one of those things, the more experience you get and the more sure you get about the things that you do, it becomes so much easier. So now it's a lot easier for me to just jump on a meeting, answer some questions, and try to put the client at ease if there's any concerns or any issues of any sort.
That's a good one. What do I overthink? Oh, I'm typically not an overthinker, or I should say, if I ever not make a decision quickly. In fact, I have the opposite problem. I sometimes make decisions too quickly, I think, because if I don't act on it, I end up probably changing my mind. But if I ever seem like I'm overthinking, it's because I'm not done processing everything. And I just don't know that I don't know that I do that. Do you feel like I overthink things? Seriously, be honest and unscripted.
Not really. I have to agree with you. Sometimes just like jump into things and have to like, whoa, hang on there.
You gotta pull me by hand.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's part of I'm a D on this profile, so I am very decisive. But I don't think that I make rash decision either. I think I give it just proper amount of thinking. Okay. Okay. What is one bright pink moment you'll never forget?
Probably our anniversary party at the office, because the office was still a new thing for us back then. I think it was my first time visiting the office too, so it was so nice to have all the team members, well, most of the team members that we were working with back then, and also a couple of our clients showing up and just being able to celebrate together with everybody what I didn't think I could ever achieve, really. So it was a really cool moment, and Julie was there too. So it kind of made it all like a big family celebration, being with our real family and also the extended family of our team and the clients that were closest to our heart then.
Julie's our sister, her twin. She has a twin. We're not twins. Every time I say she has a twin, I have to explain that family. That was a great moment. We had just moved, it was 2018. We had just moved maybe not even 6 months prior to our first office ever, having been remote before that for almost 10 years. And we had our clients and our team members, and Jonie and Julie flew in from Europe, and it was great. It was a good celebration. I still remember you popping the champagne. after everyone had left. Actually, that's a really cool highlight moment. So after the party was over, everyone had left. We only had a few people staying behind. It was the two of us, Alex, and just a few other people. And Jonie brought this champagne. Where did that champagne come from? Was
I
it
think
something?
you were saving it. It was that pink champagne that you.
Yes, I had saved a special bottle of champagne for a special moment, and I always thought that it would be either a big account or some kind of awards or something, but this moment was absolutely worth celebrating. So then Jonie is one who popped the cork, and we had a little video with that. That was a great moment. I don't know that I can top that one, Jonie. Totally. Took me on a trip down the memory lane there. I mean, there were so many moments. I want to say even our first team retreat that we did in Orlando last year, that had always been a dream of mine, to gather our team and go someplace and have some kind of retreat, because I often go to these franchise conferences of my clients and I see how the culture really comes together in those moments, and how they get to have this shared moments. And I always wanted to create that for us, which was always difficult. And we've never accomplished getting everyone from all over the world in one place, although we did try. Maybe next year. But at that time, you flew in from London. Corina and George had come in a couple of months prior to visit.
Yeah.
So it was nice to have them over at the office. But yeah, it was great because we got to spend time together. We went to Orlando, went to Disney Springs, and we went to a conference. So instead of making our own agenda, we just crashed the conference, bought tickets, group rate, and attended those sessions of marketing conference. And then we did our own team building, cooked dinners together, and spent time. It was fantastic. And I want to add another one. I think also, and I'm sorry you weren't there, but you were there in spirit. But the first time we got called for an award, one of our clients, Puro Clean, awarded us Strategic Partner of the Year a couple of years ago. And it was such an honor and an unexpected surprise. And when they called Bright Pink Agency on the big stage, and I had to get up there and accept the award, it was just a sign that our clients appreciate what we do. Not that we don't do it for the appreciation. We know that there's value to what we provide, but also it was
Definitely nice to get it.
So that was definitely a highlight for me as well. All right.
Question. Are we doing the wild card?
What do you say? Should we do the wild card? I feel like we have to now. We know it exists.
Let's do it.
We're having too much fun with this. Okay. Bonus question.
Drum rolls again.
Ooh. How has your definition of success changed since you started? I don't know that I had a definition of success when I started. When I started, my definition of success is replacing my W-2 income with a freelance income that I could pay my much lower back then expenses, since it was before kids and mortgages and other obligations. I guess for me, success now means doing something we love doing while making a difference. And when I say making a difference, it's a difference in not just in our clients' work and their peace of mind. We just heard last night a client was telling us, actually a client partner was telling us how great it is that we can now go on vacation and don't have to fear that the website is crashing, because yes, that happened in the past before you guys started managing the website, and now we can just go on vacation and be on vacation.
Definitely put that on the website.
So yes, we make a difference in their work in their life. But I feel a very rewarding part for me is that we make a difference in our team's life, and knowing that we can provide a culture of where everyone feels welcome, accepted, where they can be creative, where they can contribute, and they know that their contribution is being taken into account, where it's not unstressful in a sense of we're all sipping margaritas on the beach, kind of unstressful. But there's the stress of deadlines and delivering and all of that. But it's not that anxiety that I have heard that happens in other companies. I don't know. We try to build the workplace that we enjoy working in and working with people that we enjoy working with. So we try to build something for us and bring people in it that we enjoy working with, and they can do the same type of contributions that we produce. At least that's how I see it. How about you?
So I guess for me, when I started working 17 years ago, success was get a job, buy a house, go on holidays. It was, whatever you get taught that success looks like. So I feel that now, having this experience of 17 years of writing agency and changing things and reinventing ourselves, it feels like success has shifted more to having the freedom to run the business as we want it to be. So with all our core values in mind, so not compromising on our values to keep the business floating or get more clients. So this is what success looks like to me now, to be able to stay true to who we are while serving our clients, while hopefully improving the lives of our team by offering them a nurturing and a caring environment where they feel like they can grow to be what they want to be.
And flexibility.
And flexibility.
It's not one of our core values, but I think that's part of what we love about owning this business, is that we write our own script, right? Yeah. Even when it's unscripted. That's why it's unscripted. We kind of write it as we go. And we have the flexibility to work from anywhere and live anywhere we wanted. And you've moved many times in the early years, lived in many countries in Europe. And we want our employees to have the same flexibility and enjoy the same, as long as they are responsible, which they are. That's why they are on our team, and we trust them. They can have the flexibility to take care of their family and prioritize their children
and their own mental health and all the other things that make you want to come to work happily and not begrudging another day of work.
Yeah, so I guess that's what success looks like to us. It is a lifestyle business. We want to do good work and have fun doing it.
I love that we have the same definition of success.
Who said we're so different? Was that me earlier? Okay, this was Sealed and Unscripted. Thank you for joining us today on our first episode. I'm looking forward to doing this again. I don't know when I'm going to catch Jonie next time, but it was so fun to have this first episode, the two of us together, and let's keep going.